Welcome along. And in the army analysis series, we've made it to the Mongols. Yes, indeed. We are on the Mongol Ilkhanid 1230 AD list with Armenian allies. And let me just tell you from the start, I'm not a Mongol expert. I think I've played with them once or twice, played against them once or twice in the league, and they are a pretty decent army. You need to know what you're doing though, because they are actually up until very recently it's been completely cavalry, but with the new DLC we've got an interesting mix now, and so with the Armenian allies you get a little bit of infantry, so that is really interesting. If you've been following my videos on the last video I did, which was the Armenians with the Turks as allies, I said that was a very balanced army, and I like balanced armies. That's in terms of my playstyle and what I like, what I'm looking for. So the problem with the Mongols up until the new DLC has been it's just completely dominated by horse archers, and I find that a bit boring, and I know quite a few players as well, they don't want to play with a horse archer army. So I think this kind of army with Armenian allies is a bit of a mix. You get some infantry, okay, it's not tons of it, but we're going to go through it, and it's a fairly good, what I would call a pinning kind of force that you can divert some of the enemy over to you, and then hopefully bring your cav round on the flanks or do damage in other parts of the map. So I think it's got potential, this army. So anyway, let's start to have a look at it in more detail. So infantry, you haven't got tons of it, but you've got 2 armoured defensive units and 2 of your standard defensive units, and that's, for this kind of army, I think I counted 21 cavalry units, which is the most so far. With the, I think it was the other armies that I had that were cavalry based, it was 19, I think was my max. The Ghaznavid list, that was about 19 cav. Georgian list was 19 cav. Berber list was 17. Oh, not 17. Not so many. It was about 12 actually. But the Georgian was quite a lot, and Byzantine was 14. So these kind of armies, Gurid was about 14 cav as well. These kind of armies had quite a lot of cav, but they didn't have 21. So you're going to have a cavalry advantage against practically anybody you face. But you've still got, a fair bit of infantry. The infantry, I've bought 8 units, so I've got 4 irregular foot, and then the spearmen, and plus the 2 crossbowmen. Now, irregular foot can be pretty good. I mean, look at this map, quite a lot of rough ground. So, I could advance, try and take the rough ground. Actually, there's a fair bit all dotted around. So, irregular foot comes into its own on this kind of map, mixed in with crossbowmen. Bowmen are good on rough ground as well. So anything like this is bad news for heavy foot. So actually you've got a little bit of flexibility, because if it was a completely open map, open plain kind of map, then I would probably take out maybe 2 irregular foot and add, I can add more cav. There's Turkmen light horse, I could add a few more units. Mongol Tartar, could add a couple more units. So there's some flexibility here. Now the cavalry is a nice mix. These are some of my favourite cav units in the game. Turkoman cav, nomad horse archers, and I've taken 5. It's a fair number, do a lot of damage against all kinds of cavalry. So when you've got 5 in conjunction with the Mongol Tartar cav, which is also bow, I've got another 5 here, plus all your light Tartar horse, which is also bow. I mean, that's a lot of bowmen there. You can do a lot of damage with all of this. And then backing us up, we've got a unit of knights and some best equipped cavalry, which is also bow and lancers. They're very good. And then a couple of light lancers. I'd like some more light lancers, but we don't. In this build, this setup, we only get 1 of the really cheap lancers, and then 1 of the slightly better protected lancers. So it would be nice if we had more lancers, but we don't. In my tests, I did some tests. I was testing against crossbowmen, and even well, these lancers against crossbowmen in the open are plus 200 POA, which is excellent. So get them close. They can get close to crossbowmen, because that's, you know, that's going to be your main line of defense as a European style army, crossbowmen against all this cav. So if you can get close, you've got about a plus 200 POA advantage with your lancers. But even the Turkoman cav, even the bow, it's plus 100 against bow. They also get the -1 modifier for fighting mounted in the open, for cohesion. And even the Turkoman light horse, they're at plus 100 against bow. So all of these units do great against bowmen. Roughly speaking, it seems to work out. If you can get a charge in, even with these light horse, it seems to be a 1 in 3, 1 in 4 chance of disrupting bowmen in the open. That's crossbowmen and the massed archers. It seems to work out about that, which is a pretty good odds there, because a lot of these units are actually really cheap. You know, these light horse are 32, light horse Bedu lancers 28. So you're getting value for money. Obviously, they've got to try and survive and get close to the crossbowmen. But if you swarm units, you've got a great chance. And that's what you need to do. To play with the Mongols, you need to learn how to focus your fire on a particular unit, getting close, try and charge bowmen as soon as you can, and that will just give you better chance of winning. My rating, now it's going to be interesting, this, because as I said at the beginning, I'm not a Mongol expert. I do like the addition of the infantry. I think that because we've got a fair amount, you know, that just gives something extra for the enemy to worry about. I think a B plus. And I might review all of these scores maybe at the end of the year or something, or once the digital league is finished, some other tournaments are finished, and that, you know, I've got the chance to take out some of these armies and test them myself. I'll review my ratings, but I think about a B plus. I think this cavalry can do a lot of damage. Your infantry is pretty decent. You know, against, well, I suppose the Gurid army had less cav, but it had a lot of spear. Ghaznavid had a lot of cav at 19. And it's also got some of the impact foot. So it's not the best of the best, this infantry, but it's enough. And with all your mounted bow, you could do a fair bit of damage. Obviously, I think it all rests on your cavalry. If it gets beaten back, if the enemy brings lots of the mixed bow, crossbowmen, and bowmen, and mounted bow themselves, then it can be hard to get your horse archers going. So it can be hard to use the Mongols. I haven't checked the records, but from what I remember in the last season, it seemed to be about evens. I think the record might be around evens. Some players seem to do quite well with them, and other players didn't do so well. So it is a tricky army to use. Very easy to waste your cavalry. So I probably wouldn't recommend this army for new players. Maybe take out a European army or Armenian army, or Byzantines. They're quite balanced. Ghaznavid, even, because that has impact foot as well as all the cav. So those kind of armies I would recommend more than this army. And maybe not only to new players, but to anybody, really. Because, yeah, you're not going to win with your infantry, you're going to win with your cav. In terms of changing things around, maybe just, because I mentioned before, maybe just take out some irregular foot, add some cav. Maybe if you want some better cav, you could take out maybe a couple of the Tartar cav. Yeah, we could take out, what would we need? And maybe a Turkoman. Maybe a Tartar and a Turkoman cav, and you could take out a knight or best equipped. So if you wanted better quality cavalry, it's available. You know, that's good. You can take out another one, and there's a load of knights if you want them. You've also got some armored Muslim spearmen if you like. Lancers and the expert armored horse archers as well. So there's a lot of choice there. There's a lot of choice, and that gives you flexibility. So, you know, if the enemy's got not many cav units, maybe less mounted bow, maybe you want to take more lancers, better lancers. European armies, maybe it would be good to have lancers, because they're good against infantry and good against cav. With your mounted bow, you're more focused on disrupting the cavalry, and if you've got more cavalry to fight, maybe it would be better to take more of the mounted bow. Okay, that's about it. So B+ from me. Let's keep our eyes open in the league. They are a very interesting army, just something quite different, but you do need some practice. So, but this list, I think it's more balanced, and I think it will probably be more enjoyable to use because you can use infantry and all your cav. Okay, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again soon.